So, Jai Hind, everyone. Today we are going to see the 29th of April's newspaper. Now, Park is listening, Rajnath to SU and terror, fix accountability. In SU summit, which was happening in New Delhi. Now, Rajnath Singh ji have told that some corrective measures has to be taken to fix and eliminate the terrorism problem once for all, and it is a crime against humanity and peace cannot be coexist with it. All right, and recently uh, Pooch problem happened, which killed five army soldiers, and Jaish-e-Mohammed was responsible. Okay, and Pakistan Defense Minister Khwaja Asif was not available, so he told Malik Ahmed Khan, who is a special advisor on defense to Prime Minister, he attended the meeting throughout the online conversation. And let's go forward with it. And let's study more about it. Along with that, Rajnath Singh ji also urged that the members countries to ensure the food security, as it will be a role model for other countries, what SEO has done, and to deal with climate changes as well. And along with that, there should be an adaptation for the energy security as a part of common strategy. That means energy security, food security, terrorism, and climate change. These are the four pillars on which the Rajnath Singh ji have talked. All right. So we have studied this. Let's move forward. And then the Yamuna has been polluting, and the pollution has came from Haryana and Delhi. Now the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi has said that according to the National Green Tribunal, both of these countries need to improve the condition by cleaning it out instead of any other measures. Now in studies, if we take yep, done. Now, PM has launched 91 FM transmitter. Now, this 91 FM transmitter was commissioned for the connectivity of nation. All right, and it has one sole aim to connect the nations, to provide the FM connectivity to the 84 districts and to 84 districts of 18 states and 2 union territories. All right, and it will be located. It will also provide the connectivity to remote areas and border areas. All right, it will be enhancing coverage aspiring districts, and it will also be in the left wing affected, that means terrorism border areas, and it will also expand the all India radio FM service, and the tourism has got boost after the rejuvenation of pilgrimage and religious places, he has told in this. All right. Now, border situation generally stable, says the Chinese defense minister Shang Fuli, he told that it is being stable, though it is not. It is his point of view, so that India can again regain its economic ties with China. And now Rajnath Singh ji told that there should be peace between the nations, and through diplomacy we can do anything which they want. All right, and there should be border arrangement as per the both two countries, and there should be no force by Chinese military to regain any position. All right, or do proxy war with Pakistan. So there has to be some diplomatic channels. Only peace can be restored. Though the Shang Fuli, the defense minister, has told that it is all right, it is stable. And now the Russian Rajnath and Russia defense minister hold talk on SCO sideline. The defense minister of Russia, that is General Sergei, sorry, yeah, General Sergei, he told that what USA has been doing, it is trying to use its dominance, global dominance, to set confrontation, to set the countries against the Russia and China. Okay, and it is also trying to stop the countries from having strong economical ties with China. Along with that, now the India has said that the two ministry ministers have discussed that about defense cooperation, military ties, and industrial partnership with one another. And along with that, the Russian defense minister, he said that. It is his first visit after the Russia-Ukraine war, that is the conflict which has been going on. And he also said that the Washington is strategically aiming to provoke other countries against Russia and China, just trying to have some dominance over that area. All right. So this will be I will doing later on in different videos because it will be long and I will be telling you more in detail about the electoral situation. And in that video, these all things in editorial will be also be covered. And the ideas page, let's come to it. If there is nothing. And then China has flown 38 warship near the Taiwan, and it is the largest display so far. And China has done, and it was the largest display on the border area, and naval vessels have been seen in the area of part of China's long running campaign for the Taiwan. All right. Now, why they have did it? Because the U.S. Navy P-84, which is an anti-submarine patrol uh, aircraft, which was seen in Taiwan Strait. All right, and and this was the reason that they did it, and as they have provoked even the PLA Eastern Theater Command, and but the USA told that the fight was completely on the basis of international law, and it demonstrates that how much USA is free, and how much USA wants that India, the international borders should be free, and there should be an open Indo-Pacific region. Along with that, the Japan have adopted a 5-year ocean policy on Friday that calls a stronger maritime security, including the bolstering the coastal capitals capabilities and cooperation with the military and China's increased assertive in the regional areas. All right, that means Japan is adopting 5-year ocean policy. We will study a little bit more on it later. And the Earth atmosphere has been rising, and it's worrying very much. Now, the global average ocean temperature has jumped 2/10 of a degree Celsius, and it has spiked the temperature on the recorded level, and it is very in very minute time it has been gone, which has increased the earth temperature. Along with that, it was because of the El Nino. All right, El Nino is a hot water body current. We will study there. El Nino is a natural warming of part of the equator Pacific that changes the weather worldwide and spikes the global temperature. And opposite to El Nino, we have La Nina. La Nina is somewhat it cools the temperature, and there was certain shift. All right, there was certain flip of temperatures in the coming areas. Earlier it was La Nina, which has made for 3 years the temperature little cooler. Now there is sudden shift of El Nino, which has been making the temperature of Earth rise, and the as the average of world oceans, which is 71% of Earth areas, and it has risen so much in just a little time. That is 71% of ocean has been increased its temperature. That is 2/10 of a degree Celsius has been increased. So it is very problematic, and especially in the coast of Peru and Ecuador. All right, that means especially in the coast of Peru and Ecuador. That means in the Pacific, and as well as the in the Pacific Oceans mainly. And the world has seen a flip of cooling of earlier La Nina, and now it has become El Nino, and it is an unexpected behavior or pattern which is seen by the Earth, and the long stretch across the equator from South America to America. That means from South America to Africa, there has been an increased temperature of El Nino. Along with that, Pacific and Indian Ocean have seen a global spike of temperature, and the area in the Indian Ocean is different and could be coincidental independent increase of somehow connected to somewhat maybe big El Nino. That means in the Indian Ocean region, there can be an increase of temperature and co-dependencies, which might increase the chances of even a bigger El Nino. Means it has great contribution in El Nino, the Indian Ocean, because the region has been different. It is closer. It is closer to the equatorial areas. All right. Now let's go to the world. We have already talked about this, and we will talk about it later on in different video. And let's move forward. Yeah. Now, there has been strong ties between India and US, and USA has said that it is considering India as a close partner, just like NATO partners, and it has been sharing cutting edge technology. All right, and earlier there was license required, which has dropped from 25% to 0.5% in the last 25 years. All right, that is the condition between both countries, and the US is working with countries such as India to ensure the Russian cannot illegally obtain any technologies which has been shared by its US and its allies. So US is working so that India doesn't, or even no countries can share such technology. All right, and along with that, the US strategic trade dialogue has increased, is been an building block between both countries, and it will be good for the development of technologies, cutting edge technologies. All right, and the national security advisor in both of the countries aim to build an cooperation in a host of critical technology like semiconductors, biotechnology, and advanced material and rare earth possession technology among the India. And India and US has decided to launch a strategic trade dialogue. All right, for the higher technology commencement and the facilities between the countries. Along with that, the Russia is illegally using the third country, that is China, to obtain the technology which has been used by the India, which is being used by US and its ally. Now, China is a difficult question for whole NATO and US, because it is not known. There is no such system which tells that which user has used such technology and might use in the future. All right, and then the Indian government is in conversation with US on tech ties. All right, and the India and the US has decided to launch a strategic trade dialogue. That means for the strategy, and we are the US. I'm not remembering the name. It might have said she's a lady, and yeah. She said that they are very excited for the cooperation with India, and new things will be done. And this is all about it. And is there anything else we want to study? Yeah. Zardari visit to next week. Here's why expectations are low. Now in Goa, there's have been SEO council soon, and Zardari, that is Zardari Bhutto, Bhutto Zardari. She has been coming to India for the SEO summit. She has accepted it. Now, why it is really problematic, because the Jaish e Mohammed has done some proxy work with Pakistan to ambush, that is the Pooch ambush, to kill 5 soldiers, and on the very same day, the Zardari has also said that she will be participating in the SEO summit. Now, the Prime Minister's former chief and Prime Minister's was being forced by the former chief of the Pakistan Army, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, to restore ties with India. All right, because Bajwa told that Pakistan Army is not in situation to have some fight with India for the Kashmir issue. Along with that, Army Chief General Asim Munir, who is present general, who said that Pakistan Army is ready for any type of confrontation. All right. So let me see. 13 minutes have been done, so now we can study more if you want. Let's do Indian how India spends on health. Though it is a special topic, it could have been covered in different, but it can be studied here itself. Or no, let's keep it for different. All right, because it is an important topic, and let's see what else could be studied. Yeah, this can be studied. A fragile peace, making making India pandemic proof. This will be studied in that health sector itself. All right, and these both can be studied. Let's do this. A fragile peace. That means India is unimpressed by the beatings, pretense, nominance. Rajnath Singh, Li Shangfu talk, suggestion statement on border dispute. Now, the Ministry of Defense statement, they have said that categorizing the development of relation between India and China is premised on the prevalence of peace and tranquility at borders. That means if India and China want to have a good relationship, that means there should be peace and tranquility in their borders. All issues at LAC's line of actual control need to be resolved in accordance with existing bilateral agreement and commitments. That means if they want to have some resolution, then they must use some bilateral agreement means, not through war or even having some armed rebellions. And the violation of these agreements has endured the entire basics of bilateral relation, and disagreement at borders will logically be followed with de-escalation. All right. If there is any kind of disagreement between the forces in the border areas, then logically it will be following some de-escalation between both of the countries, right? Like armed rebellion or some death threats, problems, skills, and deployment on the Chinese side is now at the permanent level with infrastructure and hybrid villages. The situation could not be normalized. And what Chinese are doing, they are making infrastructures on the permanent level infrastructures in the bordering areas, and they are making hybrid bridge, which is not normalized because since the situation has not been solved, that the LSE or the Ladakh could be taken or not, which side it is. So, line of actual country, they are making permanent infrastructure and hybrid villages, which is affecting India. All right, and still they are talking about diplomacy, and the situation at LSE has been resolved, and it is time to move on the normalized bilateral relation. And People's Republic Army, the situation on China border is generally stable. Now, what they are saying that the situation is generally stable, which is not. They are just having some good tied up with India. That is all possible, and even in the it is not possible for them, and it is not very fruitful in the long term views. The stable is not the word to be described the situation at LAC, going by the continue burying the Indian patrols country bearing of Indian patrols in the strategic Dipang plains and in Demchok by China, and in attempt to take territory in Taiwan through Tawang district through a midnight raid last December. That means they have tried to capture a territory in Tawang district by in the night time, and its renaming exercise of place in Indian territory fragile as external, and it is still keeping fragile relationship with us. And as external affairs, as Jaishankar described the situation recently. All right, that means the stable is not the right word. It is quite fragile because the border situation is not stable. It is fragile, as per the foreign minister S. Jaishankar, because what along the LSE in the there was a bearing on the Indian patrols in these strategic locations like Depsang plains and Demchok by China. All right, remember these two places. There was bearing on the Indian patrols in the strategic Depsang plains and Demchok by China, and it was attempting China was attempting to raid a territory in Tawang district at midnight raid. All right. So it is not stable. It is quite fragile. India-China position on the border issue are frozen along with these uh, irrecognizable position. India now longer uses the word return to status quo. All right, means India is not using the word return to status quo as we were earlier, and because China is not ready for that, and Beijing need to realize that the creation of buffer zone at so-called the friction point in eastern Ladakh was not a resolution. All right, and Beijing, that is China, need to understand that the buffer zone which it has been creating in eastern Ladakh is not a resolution. Put a step to prevent uh, unintended consequences. India may be trading more with China than it has done in the past. That means even though they have been doing that much of buffer stating and midnight raiding at Tawang district, and still India is having more trade relation with China. and but it should not be misunderstood by Beijing as normalization of bilateral relation. So, but they should not think that it is the relation is stable or there is normalization. All right. So India is having India's Indian foreign policy is doing so well. They have been trading well, and they are even putting good questions on it. All right. And the wheat cushion, the higher procurement comes as relief amid fear of inflation and poor monsoon. All right. The last year heat waves impacted crops in combination with soaring prices fueled by export demand and Ukraine war. All right. Now heat waves have been coming, and now we have already talked that Earth temperature has been rising. Along with that, there is Ukraine Russia conflict is going on, and the prices of fuel has been rising again and again. And in government wheat purchase purging to the lower since 2007. The purchasing of wheat has been gone lower, and the crop has also suffered damage from unseasonal rains and the half of on very half of the months. Okay, the crops have been also been damaged. The crops are damaged because of rain. There is heat going on. The fuel are rising, and there is another Ukraine Russia conflict is going on. Inflation is the main problem, and but production does not seem to have taken as much of hit. But the production in India doesn't have taken that much hit. The second reason for comfort is the prospect of El Nino. The El Nino, what is El Nino? El Nino is the hot water current. All right. The second reason for comfort is the prospect of El Nino, which may global weather agencies predict as may develop during May and June. And now in this May and June, El Nino may be developed. Adversary affect the coming monsoon in turn rice production due to ensuring kharif crop season. All right, and it might in the coming monsoon it might raise rice production during the ensuring kharif crop season. All right, and the southwest monsoon season for June to September also pans out and going to matter both of Indian agriculture and oversupply position with regard to inflation. Thankfully, global food prices have eased, and that should considerable aid to government supply management program. That means it will be helpful for the government. Even if we are having with El Nino, there will be more, more uh, the temperature of earth and ocean will rise because of El Nino, but it might be fruitful for India at that currently position because of the at that kharif season crop rice could be grown properly. So it is not bad for us, it is bad for others. Like uh, now we have talked about this as well, and now let's move forward. Now yes, let's see if we have time, so we'll continue. No, it's already been 23:41. So we will discuss in later issue. All right, in the next video, which I'm going to do, we will discuss on the health sector as well as the Karnataka elections. So thank you everyone for listening, and wait for the next video.